Because normally I sit on a set and I have someone beside me with a script in her lap and she will tell me when I'm wrong. So I thought I would do this today. What a pleasure it is to be here and have everybody here. I love this town, and an event like this is so representative of what we're all about. Thank you also for helping us honor an unforgettable cinematic icon and an even more unforgettable friend, Udo Kier. Udo first came into my life when I was 15. It was in the basement of a movie theater in Canada. Let me rephrase that. I first encountered him on screen at a cinema in Toronto when I was a teenager in the film Andy Warhol's Frankenstein. It was in 3D, and the image that stayed with me was of Mr. Kier skewered by a long metal rod, his internal organs seeming to dangle above those of us in the audience as he uttered a final death rattle with the immortal line, "To truly understand life, Igor, you must first," expletive, "death in the gallbladder." Not since Citizen Kane has there been such a perfect match of character and dialogue. I was, of course, transfixed. And how could I imagine that some 20 years after that, through various circumstances far too sordid to get into here, Mr. Kier would show up at my West Hollywood flat, disguised in Groucho Marx nose and glasses, complete with a false mustache, and introduce himself with, "Hello, I am Udo. You have wine?" Now granted, it was Halloween, but nor could I have predicted that we would end up living less than a block apart in our beloved Palm Springs, where our now 2 decades old friendship has resulted in his becoming an ordained minister in order to perform the marriage ceremony for my husband, he's seen here, and myself at Melvin's on a Christmas night some 6 years ago. So it was it's marvelous. Reverend Udo. He's also a knight, I'll tell you that later. So it was a complete honor and delight to be able to direct him in a film a few years ago where he played an evil genius industrialist starring opposite one of the more famous Hollywood St. Bernards. We shot the movie near Halifax, Canada, in a picturesque oceanside town, and one night Mr. Kier had a craving for pizza. Together we strolled along the dark, mist-enshrouded streets of this tiny village, complete with dim lights, the occasional clang of the sea bell, and of course the of the foghorn in the distance. Very atmospheric. And of course I'm walking along arm in arm with a man that Fangoria, the authoritative horror magazine, called the vampire of the millennium. So you can imagine the reaction from a lovely couple who were just stepping out of the pizza parlor as we emerged through the shadows. They took one look at him and let out a collective, "Oh my God, it's him," and screamed. Of course, this being the 21st century, they also asked him to pose for a selfie. You see what I mean? He's unforgettable. So it makes perfect sense to honor Udo today with this star in Palm Springs. Many people are unaware of his humanitarian work. For example, he has single-handedly kept thousands of thrift stores and consignment shops afloat throughout the Coachella Valley. He has the largest collection of secondhand neckties in the Western Hemisphere. I'm also pretty sure he, and frankly myself, have helped pay the college tuition for the children of dozens of bartenders in town. But beyond all of this, he is honestly one of the most gifted, most entertaining, most gracious, and most delightful people I've ever had the pleasure to call my friend. I love you, Udo, and I'm so thrilled to be here to help present you with this star today. Congratulations. Thank you.